Hey guys, it's Ralph here for Game, and I'm here with Randy Varnell, Creative Director of Gearbox Software. Randy, I played a little bit of the story mode there. I think it was amazing. Really, really fun. Can you tell us what was the challenge in creating, the 25 different characters with their different personalities and with their abilities as well?
Sure. I mean, it's a massive challenge to both make the characters awesome and lovable and balanced and still feel very powerful and very different every time you play. I think you've got a chance to play Arundi and Miko today, two of my favorites, and very different in play. You got to play Arundi, who's the Chaos Witch, in and out, big explosions up and down, and Arundi, or Miko, who is a support character, a good healer, but I think I watched you today and you found out that it's excellent at doing damage as well. So you got to mix it up, you kept your team alive. I credit I think the highest score I've seen on the Void's Edge mission this weekend, and it's really, Ralph, it's all about what you did with Miko on that. But 25 really, really different characters. You got to take a peek at all of them today. And it's been both a joy and a lot of hard work from our team back at Gearbox, being sure that they all feel great and they're very balanced. We've got a lot of work still to do, especially as we move into the live phase of the game with balance and multiplayer, to be sure that it's still really great. But it's been sweet. It's been a good journey.
Amazing. Well, like I said, we just played the story mode, and I was wondering, each mission really was set like an episode. Tell me how you guys came up with the structure and the play order of that.
Sure. Well, we started out, we kind of know what the general story outline is for, you can almost call it the season of Battleborn, right? All of the story episodes certainly feature kind of like, they're almost like a TV episode, like you said. They're a different mission. They cover an important event or important topic in what's going on as the Battleborn fight to save the last star Solus in the entire universe. And this season really talks about their struggle against the big bad guy named Rendane, who is trying to finish off that last star, and really reveals kind of how the Battleborn came together. You played a mission today called the Renegade, which is a mission where Caldarius, our really cool kind of jetpack armor guy, joins the Battleborn. So you get a couple of those missions to see how we recruit the Battleborn, and also how they turn that fight back around to Rendane to try to save the last star. So we knew when we made a game that had leveling up. Every time you play Battleborn, right, you start at level 1, you start level 10, you get to level 10, has that great mix of kind of RPG, and with that, we knew that we had to take a little bit different tactic on the story missions. It's not like Borderlands where you take one character and you're playing it for, who knows, a couple of 100 hours sometimes. Every time you play, you're kind of starting over and you get to experience that RPG fresh and new every time. So we knew we had to treat the story a little bit differently. So as fun and as kind of interject as Battleborn is, we all kind of look back at our favorite Saturday morning cartoons. And so you get a lot of that great kind of really fun episodic feel where you're going to have a villain today and you're going to go in and try to win the cartoon for today. And we wanted to pull that kind of feel and that vibe into Battleborn. So that's what you got to experience today in our story episodes.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, you were talking about like the backstory and the villains and the overarching narrative of the game. Now, what was your favorite bit of lore in the whole thing? I know it's sort of like, it's hard to really pinpoint, but I myself am a lore guy. I love reading up on like the history, and like you're playing a significant part of the story here, but I want to know like how'd you guys end up writing the overall history of the game, and each backstory of the character, and what's your favorite so far anyway?
Sure. Well, there is an immense amount of lore in this game, and if you're a lore guy, you're going to love digging into it. One of the things that we have to do that, I'll talk about the mechanic, and then I'll answer your question a little bit. Every one of our Battleborn have 5 lore challenges you can complete. It usually has something, you do something gameplay-wise according to kind of how that Battleborn plays. It teaches a little bit about how they play. But every time you finish that challenge, you unlock a little bit of lore. And tucked down in there, we have some text lore that you can read. That's sometimes poetry, sometimes a dossier about them, sometimes a historical outline. We have some great images. We have some voice logs, some conversations between Battleborn about what's going on. We even have a song for one of our Battleborn tucked down in there that kind of talks about them. It's my favorite bit. But really, in the story-wise, there's a bit of lore between two of our characters, Galilea and Umbra, two of our great female warriors in Battleborn. Umbra is a member of the Generate Empire. Galilea was originally an Eldred, but when you play her here, you get her in the Peacekeepers. The Galilea had at one point tried to take down the Generate from inside, infiltrated kind of a long-term mission to kill the Generate and shut down their empire, and made friends with Umbra, and then had to kind of betray her at the last minute. So you can read some backstory of them, their kind of frenemies going on in there, where they fight and duel it out and almost kill one another. And there's a lot more to it than that, but oh my goodness, it's one of my favorite kind of backstory scenes in the game. And when you play those characters in game, they'll acknowledge some of that with VO and with other means in the game. You'll hear them talk about that and celebrate both friendship and rivalry through the lore. And you can see that with so many other characters. You do that times 25 characters. There's a lot of stuff to uncover in this huge universe in our game. And honestly, I hope that this is just the start.
Amazing. Now, we were talking about earlier about the different personalities of each character. Now, obviously, you'll have voiceover actors,
Yes.
and things like that. Will we expect to hear some familiar voice actors, knowing that obviously it's Gearbox and we've had some,
Well, the most obvious one, of course, you played Arindy today. Arindy is voiced by Ashley Birch, who did Tiny Tina in Borderlands 2. One of my favorite Borderlands 2 characters, and when we had the opportunity to work with Ashley again, it was a no-brainer. She did such a job with kind of young, crazy, teenage Tiny Tina. And Arindy has some similar features. She's the Chaos Witch. She's very, very kind of unhinged. She's a member of a race called the Veramorph, who can actually change their physical appearance over time. And it has mental effects on them. So Arindy's kind of gone rogue. She's a member of our rogue faction and has got that kind of insane chaos that Tiny Tina had. So it's been great with that. We have a few others in there. The voice actor who did the voice for Vegeta, if you watch anime, who does the voice, I believe, of Verid Wrath, the swordsman in our game. I think he actually does a couple other voices, but we have the pleasure to work with a great group in Dallas, Okatron, who does a lot of our voice acting, and we pull from a pool of voice talent that works a lot with Funimation, who do the English version translation of a lot of anime that comes over. So if you've watched a lot of English dubbed anime especially, you're going to hear a lot of very familiar voices in there and all of that. We have some other great ones. Colleen Klinkenbeard, who did Lilith in the Borderland franchise, who actually plays Nova, who's the ship that guides you through the game. So I'm dropping a lot of names here, but we love some of these actors. We've worked with them on several games, and I think while you'll get some different performances from them in Battleborn, there's some familiar in there too for fans.
Awesome. Well, thanks for chatting to us about the story mode and how the single player is basically and all the background information is that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you guys later. And we're back again with Randy Varnell, creative director for Battleborn. We've got here some amazing figurines.
All my children.
I know, they're only available at game, only when you
Yes.
pre-order Battleborn as well. So talk to us about maybe some of the characters here, maybe the...